Welcome, curious minds. Glad to have you with us for another deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today we're jumping into something I think really sparks excitement. How new companies, startups, can really hit that accelerated growth phase.
Yeah, it's a big one.
We've pulled together quite a bit of articles, research, our notes, trying to create a sort of concise, actionable guide. Stuff for speeding up growth, fueling new ideas. Our mission really is to cut through all the jargon, pull out the key bits of wisdom from everything we looked at, and basically give you a shortcut to being properly clued in on this.
Yeah, distill it down.
And what's really interesting is how consistent a lot of these core ideas are. It doesn't seem to matter much if it's like a software startup or, a coffee shop.
Yeah.
The fundamentals hold up.
Remarkably so.
Okay, then, let's get into it. So, when a company really wants to grow fast, like really fast, what's at the absolute heart of it, according to the sources? Where's step one?
Well, it pretty much always starts with building a super strong foundation. And that really breaks down into two main things. First, it's about hiring the right people.
Yeah.
And the sources, they stress, it's not just about skills on paper.
Right.
It's about finding these builders, people who aren't just okay with change, but actually, thrive when things are a bit messy or ambiguous.
And adaptable.
Exactly. They see shifts as chances to innovate, not problems. Comfortable wearing multiple hats, which is just essential in those early days.
Makes sense. And the second thing?
The second part of that foundation is clarity. Clarifying your focus. You've got to nail down your absolute core offering, what's the main problem you solve, and for who exactly.
Avoiding the scattergun approach.
Precisely. The advice is really clear. Don't try to be everything to everyone, especially at the start. It just dilutes your energy and slows you down.
Right. Build that solid internal engine first, team, and focus. But okay, once that's sort of in place, you have to look outwards, don't you? What about positioning in the market? How do you tackle that landscape?
Yeah, that flows right into the next big point. Know your market. It sounds obvious maybe, but the research we looked at hammers this home.
Okay.
It means continuous deep research into your target customers, yes, but also your competitors. And it's not a one-time thing you do and file away.
An ongoing process.
Totally. Almost obsessive.
Yeah.
Because that's how you spot threats early, anticipate shifts in what people want or, new tech coming along, and you find opportunities proactively.
Before anyone else does, ideally.
That's the goal, being predictive, not just reacting when things change.
So, okay, you understand the market. How do these high-growth companies make sure customers stick around? It's not just getting them right, it's keeping that interest alive.
Exactly right. And this is where customer focus is just critical for that accelerated growth. The sources really push retention over just constantly chasing new customers.
The leaky bucket problem.
Sort of, yeah. Think of it more like a flywheel. Keep your current customers genuinely happy, great service, maybe loyalty programs, just engaging regularly. They don't just buy again. They become your best salespeople. They refer others. That builds trust. Organic growth.
Word of mouth is powerful.
Hugely. And the other side of customer focus is relentlessly solving real problems, addressing specific, tangible pain points.
Not just nice to haves.
Exactly. And crucially, improving your solution based directly on their feedback. Creating that loop where customers feel heard, invested, because their input actually shapes the product.
That feedback loop sounds like a real game changer. Okay, so customers are happy, they're feeding back, but how do you reach more people efficiently and build things so you can scale up massively?
This is where digital and agile marketing comes in strong. Leverage those digital channels, online marketing, content, social media, wider reach, often much lower cost than old school methods.
Standard stuff these days. Almost.
Well, yes, but the key is the agile part. It's about experimenting constantly, running small, targeted tests, looking at the data, and tweaking your approach basically in real time, not getting locked into some huge, rigid plan for months.
More flexible.
Much more. And don't forget networking, even in a digital age. Getting out to industry events, startup meetups, it still matters for connections, mentors, investors, even those first few customers.
Face-to-face still counts.
It does. And all this needs to sit on top of a scalable business model. You have to build for growth from the start.
Like sauce.
Sauce is a classic example, yeah. Software as a service or e-commerce, certain B2B services. Models where you can increase sales, ideally exponentially, without your costs shooting up at the same rate.
Right, the marginal cost is low.
Exactly. And related to that is the minimum viable product, the MVP. For fast growth, it's not just about launching something. It's about proving your core idea with the least possible effort and cost so you can iterate super fast or, crucially, pivot quickly if it's not working.
Makes sense. But growth often needs money, right?
Yeah.
Beyond just venture capital, what clever ways are companies finding funds or partners these days?
Yeah, the funding landscape is interesting. The sources talked about modern bootstrapping.
Which isn't just being cheap, I guess.
No, it's strategic. Using things like pre-sales, getting customers to pay upfront for something you're still building, or crowdfunding. It validates the idea and brings in early cash without giving up equity right away.
Smart.
And then there's strategic partnerships. Teaming up with bigger companies, maybe influencers, to get access to markets or resources you just couldn't reach on your own.
Opens doors. Big time. And you mentioned the sources even pointed to specific funding in certain regions.
Yeah, that was fascinating. How companies can and should leverage investment schemes unique to where they are, their local ecosystem.
Right.
India was the example used, mentioning things like Stand Up India, Mudra loans, specific seed networks there. It just highlights, you need to really research what support is available right where you are.
Good point. Okay, switching gears slightly. Ideas. How do these fast companies keep finding new ideas and doing it quickly? What's the secret sauce for continuous innovation?
The secret sauce.
Yeah.
Well, the section on cultivating new and fast ideas had some really practical stuff. First up, real-world problem solving.
Meaning?
Look around you. What frustrates you in daily life? Talk to other people. What are their pain points? Solutions to real felt problems, those are the ones that tend to stick and become successful products. It starts with empathy, observation.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
Second, draw from your passions and experiences. Ideas linked to something you genuinely care about or know deeply, they have a way better chance because you have the drive to see them through.
You already invested.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then you absolutely have to engage your target audience directly. Surveys, sure, but also proper interviews, just conversations. Find out what they need or what bugs them that isn't being addressed.
Get it straight from the source.
Yep. And finally, monitor innovation hotspots. Places like Product Hunt were mentioned. Watching platforms like that daily gives you a real-time feel for what's trending, what's getting traction, and maybe where the gaps still are. Spotting waves early.
Staying plugged in. Got it. But look, having ideas is one thing. Acting on them fast, effectively, that's often the hard part, isn't it? How do they bridge that gap?
They use what the sources called a fast execution framework. Sounds fancy, but it's pretty logical.
Okay.
It means prioritizing testing. Quickly figure out which ideas are most promising, then use minimum viable tests, MVTs, to check them out with minimal fuss. And be ready to adjust or drop things fast based on what you learn.
Don't fall in love with the idea if it's not working.
Precisely. They also mentioned using things like mind mapping and reverse engineering. Basically, brainstorm quickly, map it out visually, break down the steps needed, and then work backwards to figure out the very next thing you need to do today.
Deconstruct the complexity.
Yeah. And there's this really punchy rule. Adopt the 48-hour rule.
Oh, what's that?
The idea is, if you haven't taken some kind of concrete action on a new idea within 2 days, just move on. Find something that excites you enough to actually start doing it right away. It's a filter for real commitment.
Wow, 48 hours. That's tough, but probably effective.
Seems like it forces action.
Now, the source also mentioned growth hacks for Indian startups. You touched on the funding, but is there a bigger principle there we can all learn from beyond just India?
Yeah, definitely. If you connect the dots, specific local funding or incubators like the ones mentioned in Noida or Delhi NCR or government digital initiatives, those are context-specific, obviously. But the core takeaway, the universal idea, is about thinking frugal innovation. Leveraging that concept of jugaad, which is kind of like resourceful, creative problem solving with limited means.
Making do, but smartly.
Exactly. It's not just about being cheap. It's about ingenuity, being adaptable, making the absolute most of whatever you have. And that mindset, that's gold anywhere. Fosters creativity, efficiency, no matter the market.
That's a great takeaway. So, okay, we've covered a lot: foundation, market, customers, ideas, execution, mindset.
Yeah.
If you had to boil it all down, what are the absolute final must-do tips for rapid growth, the non-negotiables?
Right, the final tips distilled from everything. They're pretty clear and consistent. 1, stay customer obsessed. Always keep them at the center.
Okay.
2, be nimble and persistent. Expect pivots. Don't give up easily, but be ready to change course.
Adaptability again?
Yep. 3, don't get stuck in analysis paralysis. The market moves too fast. Launch, learn, iterate, get it out there.
Bias towards action.
Absolutely. And 4, learn from wins and failures fast. Don't dwell, just learn the lesson and move on. And overarching all of that, the single biggest competitive advantage for a new company.
Let me guess. Speed.
You got it.
Okay.
Speed is your competitive advantage. Everything else builds on that ability to move quickly.
Wow. What a comprehensive look at accelerated growth. It really does seem like it's not about finding one magic trick, is it?
Not at all.
It's more like a consistent, almost relentless application of these core things, getting the right adaptable people, that intense customer focus, being smart about funding, and crucially, generating and acting on ideas super fast.
Yeah, building a whole system, an engine that doesn't just create but adapts constantly at high speed.
That's the key.
Absolutely. And if you focus on these proven strategies, it won't just help you grow faster. It keeps the whole company kind of buzzing with fresh, relevant ideas that actually fit your market as it changes. It builds resilience.
A responsive, resilient organization. Love that.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on. Imagine if you took that 48-hour rule we talked about, but applied it not just to business ideas, but to any new creative spark you have, or even a personal goal. How might that speed up your own learning, your projects, just pushing yourself to start instead of just thinking about it?
Interesting challenge.
Something to mull over. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive today. We really hope it was useful.